Hey guys, it's Friday, and that means it's Casual Friday with Nancy Matz Night, and we're going to be continuing our discussion of 2023 predictions and what we may have to look forward to. Plus, Nancy has offered to do some free readings for you guys. So we'll see you in 5 minutes. Grab your popcorn and snacks. Find a comfy spot, take a seat or lie down, and let me transport you to a place of fantasy, ghost stories, ancient legends, odd creatures, alien encounters, and other magical topics. You may even decide to join the conversation. From faraway lands to your own backyard, with a small dash of pixie dust. Turn out the lights and open your minds. The journey is about to begin. Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday to y'all. It's Casual Friday tonight. My name is Charlotte. I'm going to be your host for the next hour or so. And again, it's Casual Friday, and what that means is it's Nancy Matz Friday. So we're here kind of laid back. Still got my Christmas tree up in the back. Got my Aloha shirt on and kicking it back today after a nice, fun week of storms. Finally got 2 days of somewhat clearing, but it's still flooded in my backyard. I can't walk back there. But anyhow, I'm also the owner of the California Haunts Paranormal Investigation Team based out of sunny Sacramento. And we're 45 strong up and down the state of California, which means if you have a paranormal issue and you'll need help, we can get somebody out there. Like I said, we're up and down the state, so it might take us an hour, 2 hours, because this is a huge state. People don't realize how big this state actually is, but it's a huge state. But we will get to you to help you out. We've also got affiliates in Oregon, Washington, Nevada, and Hawaii. Now, if you have anything in Hawaii, let me know, because I'll fly to Hawaii personally and, stay there for a while. Anyway, welcome. If you're watching from Facebook tonight and you like what you see, please be sure to like and follow. If you're watching from YouTube, there's that little ghost right there, the bottom right hand corner. Click on that, and if you like what you see, please hit the like button. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. Always looking for subscribers. We've got more than 480 videos sitting over there. All different topics. I'm a journalist. I hate staying on one topic. So if you go through all that and take a look, I'm sure there's something you'll find that you like. Tonight's show, we're just going to swing right. Well, not yet. I have an announcement to make. Everybody knows about Facebook. You know about Twitter. Y'all know about TikTok and all that. In fact, we're going to get to TikTok in a second here. But there's this other server called Discord. And Discord's an interesting place because the moderators are just regular folks like me. And so I have started up a Discord for California Haunts Radio. And that's going to include not only you guys, if you want to join, my RSS. Let me get this straight here. I got pinching on my ear. This is what happens when I wear glasses because I hate glasses. I'm not set up for it. This includes you guys listening to the RSS feed, which would be Apple and iHeartRadio and all those places. You can come on over to the Discord and join up. It's all free, and we have this is after hours conversation. We can talk about the shows. We can talk about ghosts. We can talk about anything you want to. So it looks like this, and my little nickname for y'all is, here we go, Ghostly Groupies. Okay, join my Ghostly Groupies at Discord. Now, if you want to see a link to that, go look at the description of this show, and down at the bottom below Nancy's information, you will see a link to join the Discord. It's an invitation, and that's just for you guys. So go on in and join, and we'll start having some real cool conversations over there, talking after hours conversations, right? All right, so it's a neat place to chat, and it's not as regulated as the other places, so you can come on in and chat. Okay, that being said, Sunday I will be on TikTok live, along with being here, reading from the book. We're going to do our last read on Sunday from that particular book. That's going to end it for the holiday/winter book, and then we're going to be hitting the Salem Witch Trial book following that. So that'll be the last holiday read, so come on down for that, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. And if you're, over here from TikTok watching the show, I'm going to be live on TikTok as well. Another big announcement is Nancy Matz and I are going to be doing a live TikTok show. And I don't know if it's going to be psychic readings or what we're going to talk about, but we are going to be doing one live on TikTok. That's to be determined what day we're going to do that, but it might be a pop-up show. I don't know yet, but we're going to do something live over on TikTok coming up here. All right. Tonight, Nancy Matz is with us. It's Friday, of course, and we never did get to finish our readings from last week, so we're going to finish, not our readings, but her readings for the future of 2023. So she's going to finish those off today, and if time permitting, and she has time, she's going to do some live readings for you. Just remember, keep it down. If we do that, please keep it down to one question, because we got to give other people time to get their questions done as well and see how accurate and the answers come in and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get Nancy Matz in here. It's been a wild week for everybody, and she's been up. In fact, it's funny because it seems like the heavy weather will hit me, but it hits her worse up in her direction. She lives north of me, so the heavy weather really slammed her. So it's been a wild week for both of us. So here we go.
So I'm in Butte County. I've moved to Oroville and from Siskiyou. And I have been looking at the house I moved from. I'm not had the idea that I just love that house up there. It was the house most people want to live in. But as you get older, we have to accommodate life. And so that pushed my husband down to Oroville. I took 3 summers to sell it. I was up there for 2.5 years. So coming down here, and they're having the weather that I don't miss. And down here, we've had a lot of rain and a lot of flooding. Paradise, Magalia, people know where that is, Berry Creek, Chico, a lot of areas around the town of Oroville. Not my neighborhood, but then we had a lot of water. So it's been um, adventurous. My son who's in Arizona, he says, "Mom, you okay?" Yes, I'm fine now. It's like, but people who live further away, you can't do anything for them. So but it's the thought that counts, right? Everybody, yes,
It
yes,
was
yes.
funny
You have to
because
go with job.
when I
Huh?
talked to the guy that's handling stuff at Farmers Insurance for me, the middleman,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
he acted like he was so unconcerned about the fact that this thing fell in my backyard. And I said, well, where are you located? He goes, well, I'm in Arizona. And I said, well, that's why you're not even up here. you know, how would you know what the hell's going on up here?
Well, I did live in Arizona for 8 to 10, some 10 years maybe, and I really loved it. And it was to have a different pace. I literally was worked to death here doing this work and went there for a breather. Of course, I went right at the beginning, right at the beginning of the recession, but there was floods in Arizona, Tucson, and then up there in the Phoenix Valley area, and it was a flash flood
Hmm.
incident, and everybody was very worried about that. We heard a lot of cars being lifted and floated away, which happened down here. 3 people died, which is 2 people died that I know of in cars, and unfortunately, one brother found his sister, and I can't deal with that. It's anything like that just kills me. Uh, so we'll look back on this time. I think we'll have 2 more years of very wet weather, kind of like a cycle.
Hmm.
It's really hard to predict the weather because I'm in California, and when I say weather is going to continue like this for 2 years, it's hard to know what's going to be on the East Coast because I'm not there. I do think the Arctic blast will come down for a while longer, but it may be, you people on the East Coast will be so. I've been seeing people move. They've had enough. There's a lot of people my age group and Korean War veterans, Vietnam, Korean War. We're getting older, and you just don't want to put up with it anymore. So same with Hornbrook. I lived on the mountain. It just got really
But that's why
blistery. Even
people
I
move to
love
places like Florida because,
they
you know,
do.
but then when you move to Florida, you get hurricanes. So I mean, it's like it's a no win, or Hawaii too. Tsunamis. I mean, there's it's a no win
Or
scenario.
tornadoes in the middle of the United States.
Volcanoes, and it's a no win scenario no matter
Yeah.
where you go. So it's like,
Yeah, it's what you're willing to put up with. I'll never forget it must have been 25. By the way, anybody listens to me and I bring up a session, please call me and let me know what happened. Because I can always look. I have kept the binders of notes of people, but don't reference them. Anyway, I remember telling this one person, and so I call it a note to you, that you and your husband would have to deal with floods. I see water everywhere. I wasn't sure where they would live, though. They did give me the state, and sure enough, a few years later, we started with our major flooding, and
mhm.
I was flabbergasted. I, it's like, oh, who wants to deal with that? Well, guess what? We had the fires. I was even up there in Hornbrook. We were put out of the house for 3 days. When my husband and I got the notice, we had 15 minutes. Some people in Hornbrook, the town which is on the other side of the mountain, in the valley, those people, one person did die. It was so fast. This one older couple, as I'm older, they were maybe 5, 10 years older than us. She only left with her purse and no 5 minutes. That's all they had. I can't imagine in Paradise same way. Those people didn't even get 5 minutes. Um, uh, so anyway, we're talking about the extremes, and I feel like California we have at least 2 more years of these extreme wet weather. As far as the summertime, let's ask me that when we get to the summertime. There was a few things I want to Now, Shar, you're looking at the chat room. I have my Word document open so I can keep track of what I haven't talked about so I
We're
can't
going back
read
and
it.
forth.
You are going back and forth?
We're going back and forth.
Yeah, it's, oh, fudge.
I also want
Just
to
open.
remind everybody, Mercury, from what I'm hearing out in the world, Mercury is in retrograde right now. So, oh boy, for everyone.
I don't know what that means. I
It's hitting
don't use
us, the
those.
storms, everything. It's just slamming us all. So, blame it all on Mercury, you guys, being in retrograde.
Marissa and Suzanne, hello. Hello. I do like to acknowledge those people. And in the past, I haven't been that on top of technology. It's like, oh my gosh. And I'm a tech guy, a tech person. I just love it. And I had to write a note to my tech guy in Texas. I need his help in the morning. So, but I love it. And I won't say hate. I don't hate anything, but I get pretty frustrated. So all of a sudden I had clicked something. All my open documents, everything was filled the screen. I'm going, wait a minute, what happened here? I do want to address a few things that we can talk about. And in the chat room, whether it's a question for you or not, whoever, now remember, I'm only getting one screen. I don't know if I'm in YouTube or Facebook looking here, Facebook rather. So YouTube, if you pop in and give us a note, any part of the economy or any part in the world, there are some things I picked up last time. I am picking up the Philippines will get a lot more water and a few more in that direction. The Philippines, I'm hearing the word Philippines. They're going to have some see what they call hurricane. They call them something else. Reversal of the winds. A lot of storms that way. And no, I'm not predicting death and doom and destruction, but they want me to see the word Philippines, so I have to stay with it. I see few more minor earthquakes in the ocean between Japan and the eastern part of the continent, China and everything. Those aren't so destructive as I have had in the past, but they'll be newsworthy. As Northern California, Santa Rosa direction, we had a 4.3 just a few days ago. And the rumblings won't start, and that's what you do want. We don't want the big bang. We want the small, um, jarring ones so that we don't have a terrible situation. I did want to talk about California and the projection going into the middle of the country. Unfortunately, I think the toll has been taken on the feed lots and cattle production. And so we're going to have to get into a mode of creating different ways of raising animals, not in the pens, but better quality, or we're going to have to start developing different products. You can't wipe out all the grain fields and not have anything to feed the cattle, or you can't have the cattle be put down. And then, so there's a shortage now, and I feel like a year and a half more until they start figuring how they're going to do this. I see a problem with that. I don't negotiate with farmers telling you to work on something. I don't talk to grocery people. But what I'm doing is entering time and reading the newspaper. So that's how I explain to people what I'm picking up. And I see the words cattle this and cattle that,
Hmm.
feed for them and the problems with it. All this rain, that how they're storing it, it's going to be a problem. A lot of things coming up. I'm also hearing the problem with chicken flu type things. They've already killed a lot over eastern part of the world, and so I don't think those things are done, unfortunately. And it's because of the extremes of our weather. We can't do what we're doing and not pay attention. We're doing the best we can, but the weather is it's not our control. So we have
Hmm.
to kind of adjust. And by doing so, it's when I was younger and the space program was underway, we were so excited, not knowing. And Shar and I talked about that. Uh, you know, Teflon. What was some of the other things? What was that drink? It was orange and you stir it up.
Tang,
Uh, Pardon?
tang, tang.
Tang. We had so many
Yeah.
inventions coming from the space program. Well,
Hmm.
if we put our energy toward our space program and then these issues, we're going to be able to be so clever that we're going to start improvising ways to have better food. Um, and I remember gardens without any soil, they just hang the plants and moisture would keep the roots wet. And then you spray the nutrients. There's ways it's going to happen. And even contaminated water from sewage plants. They're going to redo that and put nutrients in it. Oh, the plants are going to think it's wonderful. We're going to be creating now. The problem with this is um, is I could look at March coming up, and it could be a whole year March off. That's the problem with people like me. I do a lot of these predictions for families. When people call me, I'm always doing this. This is what I do, and half the time people say I'm down to the week. The other half people say I'm off a year. And there's a couple of my ladies that I think there was a couple that we'll be watching tonight from Florida and from California, and they love this. And I do predicting. And one lady, she has what we call a quiet life, and she had worked and she was raising kids and then grandchildren. And she'd always ask me, "When's my life changing?" Well, it took 10 years, honey. We know that. It's because the events that changed her life were so big and exciting on her timeline. I saw them as closer. I always tell people, I said, Liz Taylor, if someone said to her, "You're getting married for the eighth time," the energy of marriage would be really tiny. But what if I said to a lady who was widowed once and was single for 35 years, "Honey, there's a marriage coming," and I give all this description, that bubble of wow, would be huge and it could be
Mhm.
seen closer. Same with some of these things. I do want to go back to something. Um, the cattle, I think I might have forgot something on that, but I want to go back to the space program because it popped in my head again. Uh, I do see the moon being populated, and we are going to love it there because it's going to be a place where we could shoot off and go into space and do other things. Like we may have more satellites in the atmosphere as cosmic out there because we'll have a way to get them off. Now you say, "Well, Nancy, we have to get the SUL there, we have to do this and that." I think they're going to figure out something. Um, I do everything by clock. Very visual. So north is 12 o'clock, south is 6 o'clock, and then all this. So when I look at the moon straight on, this colony is going to be 9.5 and 10 o'clock. That circumference, the northern part versus the southern part. Why is that? I don't know. I do see it in shade, but maybe it's on the peripheral shade. So I do
Mhm.
see quite a complex. They say, "Well, we'll go underground." I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing above ground. I'm actually seeing one that's almost 2 stories tall. And I'm not sure how far it is, but it's going to be very successful. I don't want anybody to be afraid of that. As
Mhm.
far as the Mars, I do see it above ground and below ground. Not sure why. Maybe the growing will be on above the ground, but they're going to have to be careful because I feel like Mars is still a active planet of not going to say volcanoes, but earthquakes. There's a lot of debris falling from the sky. So they're going to be safe underground, but then they're going to have ways of being above ground for that vitamin D, get some sun. But it will be partitioned and very carefully monitored and regulated so that we're safe. And I do see may, one middle piece, and what I would call a village, and it'll be on the south side of it versus the north side. Like one side will be all built up, and I'm not sure I know why I don't see a cluster going around the center, or I'm seeing it with four smaller ones around a round one. But I do see it butt up against a mountain or a hill, and I feel like that's where they're going to start, and then they're going to build. I feel like quite a large complex eventually. Um, and I do see. Um, it's not where I'm looking. Somewhere on the That's really curious because I know that we'll be able to take off from Mars to somewhere else, whether it's back to the moon or not, but I can't see the rocket platform. But I think if I'm looking from this place, I can see the dome and the four rounder ones. Out of my visual, I think it's to my right. There seems to be a mountain here and then a valley. Anybody write this down, please? Send it off to somebody because I'm so visual. After a time, everybody says what I see happens. And you know why? What that is? It's not ego. I'm just practice. 32 years every day, everybody. You get this way, kind of like after so many years, right? But I've taught myself to want to see pictures. A lot of people have feelings, a lot of people hear, but I see pictures and I see a clock and I can measure it. So can't tell which way I'm north, south, east, and west on the place I'm looking at. Um, but I can feel like there's a mountain behind me which will be entered and they'll start moving things around. It's kind of like a duality, but there will be what we call a meteorite shower, and that's going
Mhm.
to impress upon them they need underground and above ground. And to my right, I feel like I see a hole in the ground where the rocket will come up. They do have to protect the planet still. I'm not
Mhm.
sure I know what that is about, but eventually it will be known. Um, I want to go back to North Korea. I scoot around just like everybody else. Oh, what predictions are out there? I love listening to someone who's intuitive and they banter even though they use tarot cards. I try to always talk about what you guys haven't always talked about. I try not to be duplicating, and the reason is why go there? It's like, okay, why don't we just talk about something different? But one person said, I don't know where the brother and sister who run the country is the sister running the country, and I told you, I don't see either one of them. I feel like within 2 years there's other people, and I feel like the man that comes in is a boxy, older fella, and I don't know that he's a bad or good guy, but I see him. He's a military person. He's going to step in. The thrust of all this military man, even though he comes up and he's kind of personality, he has in his mind, he wants to grow the country. And I feel like there's going to be a big surge of trying to bring industry into his country to have it grow again. And I'm not sure how this all happens. Um, I just don't see the brother or sister. I see them today, but not necessarily tomorrow. They said that the brother and excuse me, Uncle John, that there's double sin for him. I don't know that. I just see pictures. Right today, I can't see him very clearly. He could be sick. I know he was sick. And the same with Putin, even though he may be healthy today, whatever condition he had, cancer, he's going to have it again. I see a lot of stress in his stomach because of this. And then I do see him going, whether he's sent to the house in the forest or the countryside, not open views. I see little trees all around him, and then he's taken out. He dies, or he dies before he gets there. I see that as a possible destination. I see a blonde lady also being involved with the takeover, like she's a someone who has a lot to say with who will run the country, or she's the wife, but she has a lot to say. Um, Very smart lady. I can't imagine a woman governing Russia, but I wanted to bring that out, and I'd like to know who she is because I feel like she's very powerful in her own way. Um, then I want to give caution. There was a couple of people spoke about nuclear. Like I spoke of Putin last time, and
Hmm.
I gave a lot of information. Like when I put my mind to somebody, all I have to is but my. Don't you guys all get afraid of me now? When I want to, 99% of the time, I don't want to read anybody. And if I'm not careful, if I'm watching TV, I can step into some. It's really a battle at times, and you can't do this every day. And people say, "Oh, do you meditate?" I says, "I don't have to. The switch is that fast, right?" So when I was, sorry, I don't mean to scare anybody. So some time now I've been reading all the predictions of nuclear war and all this, and I told you Putin really is concerned. He wants to do this. He wants to bomb everybody. He gets really frustrated because he thinks that's the only way he can do this, and it's really frightfully. But he also knows that the minute he does that, NATO and everybody's going to come in and blast the dickens out of him. And he can't do that. His name will not be part of history anymore. And he's also aware of the conflicts I'm picking up in Russia, not just because the young men and the older men are being taken away to the army, but that they're running away and they'll never come back to Russia. So there's a lot of people putting out into the tanks in the war, and they're never going to be seen again because they won't come back. That's devastating for the families and the wives and the mothers. There's some
Hmm.
really big issues there. Um, Middle East. I have, and this is where I'm going with this. I've had a lot of problems lately thinking about the Middle East. I think there's two conflicts that could get worse. I also see the very strong potential of atomic bomb, whether it's a dirty bomb, it's same to me. And I think it's not coming yet, but by the end of this coming year or into the next year, there's going to be some conflicts that could escalate. It won't be a war, but it'll be can I say that on the air? Stupidity?
Hmm.
It's like they get the ego in the way. And I am concerned if someone said what country, I'm just telling you it's gonna start, and I only see it as desert areas. So I wouldn't know exactly what, but from a distance I see it as a world changing event if we don't stop it. It's not going to be Russia and Ukraine, it's going to be further south across the Mediterranean, somewhere else. And I just want to give a caution because I do see that, and people I've read and I trust, I share that with. It's
Hmm.
particularly clients in New York. because it was asked of me. I have to go to a place of saying something because this is how what you want of me. I've had more
Mhm.
people say, get on and do these predictions. Frankly, my dear, saving you and your life situation is hugely important to me. This is secondary. And I don't like to be a fear monger. I'd like to say positive things like when I was talking about solar, we're going to invent new, and it just came out another one. There's going to step up production of these machines that pop out the cement, and it's, what is it called, everybody, where they're just building a house in 16 days, a whole thing.
Hmm.
It's going to be a new way to do it. The other house I saw, they're going to come up with different ways of doing solar and electricity. And even though my people in Texas have told me, well, they have to get the blue cobalt out and put it in the batteries. They're going to have trouble storing it. I know all that, but I can't help. I just sit here and get the information. I see what we call the big fans, the white ones. I see a whole row of them on the east side of the mountain ranges going from north to south. Big, big deal. And the housing will be very quick to do. They're going to build round structures, big balloon inside, and they're going to plaster them. And I see all these villages, and they're going to be overnight places, and there'll be a couple of hotels, just big bubbles. I thought to myself, how are they doing this? How are they making bubbles? Well, it's probably out of the same material that they're making these houses out of, but they'll be kind of like igloo looking. And it's for temporary housing for the people that need to go out and maintain these places, and maybe it'll catch on and be better later on somewhere else. But it's going to be a quick way for us to get things going.
To
Okay,
interrupt real quick, what's fascinating when you say that is I remember when I was in Europe, like I'm not
which
going to say how
part?
long ago. Hungary.
Okay,
And I don't want to say how long ago because then I look old. But back then we were watching them build apartments, and the way they did
okay.
it was they built a steel frame for the apartment, but they took what looked like manufactured houses, these mobile homes, and the crane would slide them in.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like, and they would one after the other in these
there's going to be better
manufactured.
ways.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm just saying, but that when you talk about quickly building stuff, we watched them do a whole apartment like within a week, and this is like 200 apartments because they
Yeah,
had these things prefabbed and slid them right in. The Russians.
there. I love the travel stations. At my age, I don't know if I'm going to be able to travel overseas,
Mhm.
Japan. I'm very fascinated with Japan. I love past life, everybody. There you are, right? And they were talking about this building that was created maybe 40, 50 years ago, and there were little cubicles of people, and they stuck them in all different ways. And it was, so they were square, rectangle shape, and had um, you see these coffee trees where people have coffee cups, and they just hang them, and they're all different. That's kind of like they just slip them into places, and they just tore it down,
Mhm.
and it had a big oval window at each end of each rectangle. It was supposed to be the new way to do things. But I think they're coming up, and I was very sensitive, very caring last time. The people from Peru, they're coming all the way up through Costa Rica, all the way up to Mexico, all the way to get to here. Why don't they stop and live somewhere else? I mean, what that terrible journey up here, we don't even know we can let them in anymore. We're getting
Mhm.
now overrun, but I'm very sensitive because if I were in their situation, I'd been walking in a heartbeat anywhere else besides where I was. But I
Mhm.
don't know if we can afford it. We don't even take care of our homeless here. I live in Orville area. Amazing number of displaced peoples, houseless peoples, not necessarily homeless. Big difference. Um, and I don't know what to do. And what about our Vietnam and Korean vets that are not dealing with life very well? Or, I mean, where are they living? And they are in Sacramento. So my husband and I had to do some surgery down there. I tell you, all I have to do is go somewhere new, and I get lost in a heartbeat. And I got into this place with the overpasses in Sacramento, bumper to bumper tents. Ah, took my breath away. I've never seen anything like 50 at a time, just row after row, all on. Shar, you must know what I'm talking about. By
Yes.
Sutter Health, all of down underneath the overpasses. Everybody, this was amazing. I was absolutely dumbfounded. How can we let 150,000 people in when we can't take care of our own? And I
Not to
do
get
not.
political. Yeah, not to get political, but what irritates
I
me.
can't get political, huh?
What irritates me, and I'm not a political person, but I see it all the time as a newspaper reporter. They'll pick a location to build a facility for them. and everybody comes out screaming, "Not in my backyard. We don't
Oh,
want the facility here. We don't want it here. We don't want it here." Yet they're camping out on the streets in the same area and they're complaining about it. Well, we're in your backyard. They could have been in the facility, and now you're stuck. And I'm not saying stuck, but I mean now these people are stuck camping on the sidewalks when they could have had a
there is.
nice facility built. But
I really
it's a
don't know.
two-edged thing.
It is, and I just do not have an answer other than I'm a concerned citizen. Yes,
Yeah,
we can vote people in to do it or vote people out, but it takes a long time for that to happen. Hello,
yeah.
Judith. And I guess I would go if I'm only a concerned person because I don't have answers. But it
Hmm.
does bother me that if we let so many people in our country that we'll end up supporting.
Hmm.
Um, could we put some of that money toward the homeless and build them? Yet my people that talk to me say, you build a place, we're going to do something here at Chico Airport, which is very close to us, and give them place. Who wants to live there? They go dumpster diving. They have entertainment here in town. Who wants to live on a
Hmm.
field at, say, airport? They don't want that. I don't blame them,
Hmm.
but there has to be a better way. Um, they're very, the ones who have mental problems, it's like, because I'm older, I don't want to be approached, but there's some areas where I can't go anywhere without them running up to me. I was coming out of a grocery outlet and this woman runs up. She says, "You have $50 bill? I need some groceries." And I said, "Do you see where I'm shopping?" She laughed and went on her way. If I had $50, I'm not poor, but I don't want to get $50. $5, let me buy you a sandwich. I've done that, but not 50. I I certainly don't look like I have 50
It's a
extra.
problem. They don't know what to do, and I've seen so many as a newspaper reporter. I've seen them come up with so many really cool alternatives.
Yeah.
Like I've seen these little 10 by 10 homes and the little
Oh,
mini
right.
areas where they can stay the night and stuff like that. And there's the stuff where they can build them on a pallet, not pallets, but
Yeah.
uh, old rail cars and things like that. But it never seems to get done. It's just that all these ideas are on the table and then they get stopped somehow.
I think they
You know,
don't
for housing.
there's not an easy way to make more.
Yeah, maybe
And
that's what the
maybe
deal
these
is.
couple
But
things I'm seeing is what it is. Maybe they
yeah,
relocate homeless people and give them jobs. I can't answer
yeah,
that. Let me go on
yeah.
here.
But anyway, we don't want to go there. I mean, that's not what this show's about. But it is. It's a horrible. And it's like an endless circle is what I'm saying. Is because not in my backyard yet they are in your backyard because they're camping out on your sidewalks when you could have them. When the county or whoever has said, okay, we're gonna build Cal Expo parking lot. Nobody uses that big old parking lot on the side of Cal Expo. That got shot down. So
Oh, if they
you
move
know
the Calixville, that would be an excellent place.
Well, yeah, but they
Uh,
shut it down. Everybody went out and whined and him hawed, and now they're complaining because just like where I live, which used to be really cool, you go over to Office Max over here at Arden and Morris, and they're camping out on the sidewalk. So you can't
mm.
complain. You got it shot down.
So
What do
anybody
you
in the
gonna do?
room, oh, Judith, oh, you're so good. Stupidity is also a part of
Yes,
war. Ego is
yes.
exactly what I'm
Anyway,
picking up. And
okay,
I've had a lot of conversation with clients, and women ran the world, right? So
yeah,
I'm going to get myself in
but
trouble. My
yeah, I
husband's
know.
going to hear me say this.
We're gonna be in political hell. But
I don't know if I want to go down this road anymore, but we could talk
anyway, we're
about
done.
things that,
We're done with politics tonight. That's for another show. We'll have our own. You know what we'll do? We'll have our own 60 minutes one night. We'll just go for it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it is what it is.
it
So
is what
okay,
it is.
so we're looking at, and what's interesting about your prediction
Which one?
is that Nostradamus, the one with the Mid East,
Oh,
Nostradamus said that there was going to be a young president in the White House, and World War III would start in the Mid East because there would be a Mid East leader that would rise up and
oh,
that would be World War III. So your prediction in Nostradamus is really close.
I hope I'm wrong, but I see a picture, and I've seen it about a year and a half, 2 years now.
Hmm.
I was talking to someone in New York, and he travels to Israel a lot, his
Hmm.
family, and and I'm not saying it's Israel, I just go that direction. And for
Right.
some reason, I felt caution. So it is what it is. Um, okay, how much time we
Moving on.
got? Okay, moving on. I want some questions, everybody. And
We
not
got
that I'm going to run out of topic because I could talk forever.
let's rock and roll. I tell you, I have all
So,
kinds of topic. We're good to
well,
go. Okay, so yeah,
okay,
let's just
but I
roll.
have the UFO thing I want to talk about. But do you want me to talk about
Yes,
that, or you have a? Yes,
let's
yes.
do UFO. Let's do
I
UFO.
I watched a show the other night, and I'm not going to go to any place or talk to people who don't believe in this, but the show was of the people who created the ear to the world, to the universe. That group that I'm not going to say out loud because I don't want to insult anybody. It,
Sure.
remember the movie Contact, everybody? The big ear things going, and they've been here so long. These people, these
Oh, SETI.
beings said, "Well, I wasn't going to say out loud."
Well, I've
Uh,
interviewed people from that, so it's
yeah.
okay.
Anyway, on the show, it was a couple of years old. They're talking about how are we going to have a conversation with the aliens when we do meet them, and it was like, oh, "Hello, what are you doing?" Like, it's not going to be that way, honey. It's not going to be. They're already here, and every day, it's amazing to me the number of people from every part of the world. And I was thinking about this after the show. I mean, last week, thinking about it, and I was telling you how I just had a vision and I don't know where I'm standing or who I'm part of. And I was looking at a man in front of me and he was pointing to the sky. And in the sky, there was things that were happening that shouldn't be. Like there's a lot of whatevers. And it just happened today. I was watching a lot of YouTube and a lot of news reports, and one came up on I think it was TikTok, of a man in a field in another country, and they're watching the UFOs coming into the sky and breaking up and moving all over the place. Something similar to that, but it was not nighttime. What I'm looking at is more of a late afternoon, and what I'm thinking of it being is two different groups of people, and it's kind of like our people. You get on my house, my property, I'm going to get mad at you and push you away. It's an overlap of
Ooh.
I'm here but you're here too, you got to stay away from me. So it's not a war, it's a conflict of some sort. And I felt like in the 15th century there was a wood carving of stars and bright sun things with long tubular, like we see in the cigar shape. And this wood carving of a town looking up and seeing all this strange activity, that I feel like if I'm going to give a time on it, it's 4 years up. And so what had happened this year, it will be known because was only going to be on YouTube. Well, I must be going to see it because they're going to talk about it. Will they keep it quiet? Um, I want to say something like there was a clip that came out. I think it was in the Middle East somewhere. Could have been Israel. I'm not sure. Afghanistan, where there's large areas of desert, and a spaceship came down, landed, and three beings came out. And that feeling I got was, oh, we could live here because they liked the desert. It was warm, and the two of them went in the ship and it zipped off. And then the other one was looking around and looked up and went, wait a minute, I've been left behind. And all of a sudden, boom, it was gone too. So I feel like things are like that are happening. It's not that they're picking where they want to live here, but they're kind of deciding what they will do if we allow them to be here. And I tell everybody, my family's American, my mother's side family, American Indians, my grandmother's side, American Indians on my mother's side. And I see those documentaries where white man came to Americas and the Indians do so well. So we cannot assume that's going to be the problem. But as I've told you, the impression I got from what I said last week is they're tired of being invisible to us. They may be in the ships, you are seeing them, but they want to be part of our planet because where they come from, it isn't that way. And I also told you that we're in between. We're in between where they come from and where they're going. So we were kind of like a stopover. Come on, really? Well, how many of you have seen videos and TikTok of them taking up water or dropping off stuff from their body, from their ships? So we are a place. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, 1970s or 80s? The Voyager craft. Let's talk about that.
Oh,
Okay.
the Voyager is over 1,000,000 miles away and it's still sending us information.
Yeah, but check
That
this out.
Voyager.
Not only is it sending us information, it was one of those that went up. I'm not saying it's Voyager. I can't remember which one because I'm old now.
Oh, for
They
heaven's
put a
sake, stop
disc.
saying that.
They put a disc on one of those crafts. The scientists did,
Carl Sagan. Yeah, Carl Sagan
giving
put it together.
directions to the Earth telling them
Please.
about our customs, everything.
And
So these people,
everything.
wherever they are out there, have gotten like written
Did we give them an
directions
invite?
and an invitation to come visit. So I mean,
Really? God, no kidding. Yes, and we've actually sent out a couple.
yes.
And we sent out one with music on it, and I
See,
just saw a refresher of
they
that.
know all about us
Yeah,
before they
Carl
even
Sagan
get
actually
here. So
believed in
when you
this.
talk about them landing in the desert, going, "Oh yeah, we could live here," they already know the desert's there. They're just checking it out.
Well,
They're checking out the
we've
real
talked
estate.
about. Uh, I s this is a very sensitive topic I'm going to bring up. Everybody, ugh.
Slam
So
it
one day when COVID came out, I was talking to a client, and they were talking about COVID, and I went, "Oh, I see a man from the market." And it pretty warm in there, and he had just what we call the bottom shorts on, where you get the long white cloth and you wrap it around a couple of different
right.
ways, and he didn't have a shirt on. He was squatting after cooking a bat. Alive, he got the live bat, he killed it, and then he ate it. And I was told that was one, patient zero, patient one. And I went, wow. And then it was so told that a lab where we spent our money was there, they sold all those animals that were in the lab to the wet market. Bingo, right?
Right.
And that there were 3 people involved and all 3 got sick. Now, this is what I assume is what we heard.
Right.
And how dare one of my clients say to me, "Do you think the UFO people had anything to do with it?" And I just was, "No, I'm not even going to ask. Nope, I'm not going to ask. I don't want to know." And I struggled like this. Well, it came up again with the same person. Have you thought about it, Nancy? And I went, can't say no,
Hmm.
can't say yes, because I really don't know. But I do find it interesting that they created a germ that would continually, forever, become a new variant over and over and over.
Absolutely.
And I do find that a way to, I can't even say it, diminish the population.
Yeah.
Can
To thin
you
us out.
appreciate?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a
Yes.
new way to get the numbers down, everybody, so that we would
Yep.
make room for who wants to be here. And
Yeah.
I do feel like that is going to happen. I told you the one that talked to me, and I never felt any belligerent, any fear, nothing. Just if I said a kindly person, we're
Hmm.
just tired of not being known. We want to walk on the planet. We want to be here with you. That feeling came over me of we want to live here with you. And I didn't feel like it was a bad thing. Of course, if they're killing us, that's a bad thing. Absolutely.
Edith, I'm
But
going to
maybe
post
they,
your comment because I have one thing to say to you, and that's Mount Shasta.
a family member in Redding, California, is seeing more and more UFOs there all the time, small
Mount
drone
Shasta.
type vehicles.
Yeah.
I I have a gentleman, client friend, uh, Ole in Sweden, and he and a friend named Dennis went to Mount Shasta and had a private tour. They actually saw the UFOs on the mountain and
See?
flying into it. Now, these 2 gentlemen are what we call, I'll just talk of Ole, really um, intelligent, grounded architect kind of person. I mean, he's not one to. I met him in 1990 when I started Spirit of Grace, Universal Christ of the Master in Citrus Heights, California, and he's just a really great guy. And he was just dumbfounded. And I remember him thinking, "I have to think about this. This is real." What a revelation for him. And the other gentleman was in this environment. And of course, I didn't hear exactly what he thought about it, but it was
Hmm.
Ole I was talking to. And the realization when people see something for the first time, and this happened to my husband twice, that he knows, I mean, for sure. And we live on the mountain. You have to drive down from Black Mountain, Hornbrook, California, down to Montague, where we had a post box. And he was driving down the mountain, going around the curve, and he saw these 3 cars parked over here, and he went, and they're all pointing up. And he pulled over to look up, and there's this big cigar place, and Shar knows exactly where I'm talking about because she had family had a house there in Montague. And the valley is not so big that you can't go like this and see it. And it was right in the middle. It was just like this. And my husband said it was really big. I go, yeah, like several football fields length and dark. And the first thing I thought of was the word tourist. And I told my friend, she says, "Oh, stop thinking, Nancy. This is tourism." And I thought to myself, we have a pretty planet, and where we would come down the hill going to Montague is cattle. It's just, I tell you, if you want a beautiful piece of land and housing, uh, countryside of Hornbrook, it's 10,000 acres of residential's all acre and a half and more. It's just too hard not to be in love with it. Char?
Oh yeah, in Montague, you can sit the house we had a back porch which faced
Oh,
Mount Shasta. So I used to sit
yeah,
out there and write, for my newspaper articles and everything, and look at the mountain. It was gorgeous.
unbelievable. Don't get me all sad that I'm not up there because I love
I know.
Oroville now with
Makes
my
me sad
husband.
to be up there too.
Yeah, right, right.
I miss that too. I
But
miss
every
the
area
trees.
has its own likes and dislikes, and
Yeah,
sitting too long, everybody. So anyway, um, I've been rattling on. I see something that is written here.
we're
Nope,
having
nope.
fun.
Okay, kids, you're not keeping up with me now.
It's okay though. We're just rolling. We're rolling right along tonight, talking about aliens and stuff. And I can tell you, I've sat outside before storms in Montague on the back
Uh-huh.
porch, and I have seen stuff around Mount Shasta.
Oh, have
Like
you?
when the sky gets dark,
Uh-huh.
stuff that's flying around up there, and it's just bright lights, and there's nothing to explain it, unless
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
volcano. Unless it's something with the volcano kind of making
Uh,
electrical things in the sky. But I don't know, man.
well, my deck was facing Mount Shasta,
See,
but
your deck
you'd
was
have to
too.
go. Yeah, but I didn't look at it all the time. You'd have to go outside. We had a large deck, but we did have trees too. But we had
Yeah,
a
so we
good
didn't have
view of
trees.
Mount
It was
Shasta.
just
But yeah,
straight shot.
she had it on the ground. Every window looked at the mountain. You can
Right.
help but see. And it's kind of a tourist attraction. TV shows are talking about Mount Shasta being one of the big mountains that people seem to want to gravitate to and take tours because they want to hopefully see a UFO.
Well, did you get a chance to go to Weed and go through those shops?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah, I
part of
mean
that
everything
did
in
burn
Weed,
down.
all the
Mhm.
bookstores. Oh my gosh, it's all about metaphysical out there in the mountain opening up and blah 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 blah. Yeah, all that
Well,
stuff.
Mount Shasta is a lovely little town for tourism. I mean,
Yeah.
darling, and a great place to have wonderful food. But anyway, it wasn't easy. We were on the opposite end of the valley, so it wasn't like it would have to be an all-day trip, to get there
Yeah.
and have lunch and go back. So anyway, I kind of got lost. we we got 15 minutes. Why don't you talk to me, Shar? Give me a question or two. Or anybody in the room?
Well, for people that like you were saying about where Hornbrook is as opposed to Montague, Montague's in the valley.
Hmm.
Hornbrook was further up the hill. Hornbrook was cool because Hornbrook to get up there, you would have to drive through vineyards. Am I right? There's vineyards on the way up there.
Well, there's a few, yes, on
Yeah,
the
there's
on
a
the
few
road.
vineyards up there. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and it's beautiful when you get up above there. It's beautiful. There's a dam, a man-made dam up there that with a lake that's just spectacular.
It
And
is.
yeah, so she was up higher than we were, but we were down, like she
I
says,
was
we were
over
down in the valley.
3,000 elevation.
Yeah, with a
Um,
commanding view of Mount Shasta, and it was a wonderful view. The only thing we had was a lumber company that was across the way, and every once in a while they'd build up their uh, their
oh,
wood
I
pile,
remember that.
those piles. But other than that, I mean, the top of Mount Shasta was always there. It was beautiful. We were on the sunny side of Mount Shasta, which made it nice too.
Yeah, it was
So
wonderful.
yeah, so I mean, I used to watch all the time to see what was going on with that mountain. I mean, the mountain controls all the weather. The mountain controls everything over there.
Um,
And it was
I don't
interesting to talk to the people that lived in Montague because a lot of them would talk about the UFOs and stuff.
Wow. No, it's something I didn't talk to the people in Montague. The town of Hornbrook is a postage stamp. Black Mountain, I was on the other side
Right.
of the mountain and the town. The town has now getting, well, I've been gone now 4 months, so it's hard to know what they're doing this winter. But after the fire, it burnt a lot of the town down. And so I think the bits and pieces are coming back. Um,
Hey, we have a question. Okay, Laura Marie. Do you think we choose the day that we are born?
Absolutely. We choose our life. So I have quite a few clients to talk to me about, um, well, how do I measure how many people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, on YouTube, a channel to look at will be the LMN. Also type in children reincarnation.
Mhm.
ghosted my child. Type all those things in until you get a list of them. And many times people will say, this young boy, he said, I had to leave. And he said, why? He says, today's my birthday. So we do pick our birth parents, and that day is established. Now, if you're going to talk numerology, astrology, I can't answer
Mhm.
that. I do know, and I have heard, and I won't speak to the people who have lost children. Even I've had a miscarriage. It was very early. But if it's not the right sex, they need to wait until you have the right sex. If it's supposed to be that you're supposed to pick up the biological equipment necessary to do what I do, I would have had born to my father. My father had the gift, his mother had the gift, and her mother had the gift, right down the line. So, in some ways, you need to choose a parent that will give you what you need for this lifetime or the story of their life. Whether it's one day or another, you do pick your parents, absolutely. Um, you're going to ask a tough question now. Do we pick our death date? We pick
Mhm.
a death date after we no longer can have our spoken word given to another human being. Kind of interesting, isn't that? Who am I going to speak to tomorrow that I can't talk to? Will I change the destiny of somebody important? Or will I have fulfilled my commitment to God that I don't have to work for Him anymore? That's a pledge you need to go to nancymatz.com and read up on my bio. It's quite a story, everybody. So I made a pledge and it shook the car. Who would believe it, right? So
Wow.
anyway, I pledged for the rest of my life to do this work. And so you make a promise, you stay with it. And when I leave, it's because I don't need to do it anymore. I get to leave and go home. So I do believe in that. And I was talking to a client under a lot of distress the other day, and I told that person, I know that this life is an experience. And I know the experiences we are going through, whether it's good, bad, or whatever, if it's a negative situation, what we're supposed to do is how we handle it. You in love with somebody and they passed away. You love with somebody and you're torn away. You love with somebody and you can't have with that person this lifetime. We can agree to have them next time. We will work with that person every time until we get
Mhm.
our path finished with that one. There's all kinds of reasons why we're born. Frankly, my dear, and I had a chuckle with the lady I was talking to. I says, coffee, fresh brewed. I'm drinking fresh brewed. Oh my gosh. Get a hug from my husband. Oh my gosh. Smell that aftershave. Smell garlic bread. Go to a movie. This is why we're alive, to experience life on every way possible.
Mhm.
Then you can leave when you're satisfied. And I was part of the Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor event and Sacramento, September 72. And the plane crashed into the building. Within 2 minutes of me leaving, I had a feeling I had to go, and I did get out because I would have been killed where we were sitting. The plane did go into that part. Anyway, walking out, I passed the birthday party on my left and the kids at the counter. And I don't know if the kids at the cash register made it or not, but the boy was tall and brown haired, and the girl was blonde. And they took our money and we left. And I was talking about it on a show, and a girl wrote me a very distressed letter. She says, if you knew, why didn't you tell us my twin sister was killed? I cannot tell you. I had no idea what it was. I just had the stress I had to leave. And over the times I realized I've come so close to death. Oh my goodness. 3 times, not counting that one. And within hours or days. And I realized that when you're not done, you're not done.
Mhm.
And I caution people, don't try to take your life, because if you're not done, you get to live with results. If it succeeds, then that was your exit point all the while. Be careful, everybody. Live your life fully. And then I would say to you, when you truly believe that we do survive, you truly believe you get to try it again and again as many times as you want, then you live with a golden ball of hope, the golden ball of belief within you, which I do. And I'm always amazed how frustrated and normal I can be. And I have to collect myself and pull back and go, this is our path. This is the year I want to be
Mhm.
here. And with that, I do believe one day we need to talk about this slipstream. Like, we live in more than one body at a time. I can live a past life, this life, and a future life and feel the energy of both ways. And there are times when I'm alive now when I think of how we live is so primitive, like the caveman to me. And I keep thinking, why they haven't invented this yet? And last week I was talking about medical, which I could do a whole show on, when I saw what we call a not an armor, but close to the body, smooth, kind of a light putty color. I don't know what it
Mhm.
is. And these people are walking that were paralyzed. There's going to be so many inventions. So, the high school kids of today are amazing. Why have no fear? They don't have, I can't do. And they're creating all these new ways to test things and process things. The young man that built an arm for a young boy out of Legos. Please, really? Why didn't someone think of Legos? Why are they $10,000 an arm? Why can't $50 of Legos and some wiring?
Mhm.
It's just going to be a wonderful next 5, 10 years. We're going to have so many inventions. Today, I just read they got a new medicine out for early Alzheimer's to control brain disintegration. Please, really? And they don't even want a long testing period. They want it all on the market. Okay, Shar, do you think we choose the day we were born? Anything else, Shar? What are you looking at?
Okay, you guys. No, I was just thinking about my mom. Um, it comes out after the fact, but that's okay. If you guys have any question for Nancy, just keep it down to a single question. She'll try and answer your question. So,
We're almost out of time,
yeah,
everybody.
we're almost out of time. We'll give it about 15 minutes and see how you guys do if there's any questions. So let's
Got a
see if you
little
guys.
philosophy from me, though.
Yeah, yeah. So if you guys have something you want to know about the new year, what's ahead for you or something, let's do it.
Oh,
She'll do a reading for you.
yeah. Um,
But
Sarah,
anyway,
sad to miss this. I'm up on the mountain tonight. Oh, tell us what mountain you were in or you're on. I wish I'd seen that earlier. I don't know why, Sarah, I missed that. Um,
so, getting back to the aliens.
I love good topic. I love that.
Didn't we have friend? You and I had a person. We were on the when we did the show with Blog Talk quite a while ago. It
Oh,
was a gentleman
wow.
in Placerville.
Refresh my
The,
memory.
you were on the show with me. He actually ran for supervisor up there, and I can't remember who the heck it is. But he had always talked about alien conspiracies and how the government knew about the aliens and all this. And
I
he always,
vaguely remember that. You people don't know. I did 5 or 6 years of Block Talk Radio, and when
yeah,
Shar was on it, we did each. That was in '07 or '08, and
long
then
time
up
ago.
to 2011, and then I connected with Port Orange Paranormal.
Yeah,
George
we've been
Lopez.
doing this a long
I was on
time.
his a couple. we're we're old old people. We're
So
old
this
experiencers
gentleman,
of
when
this.
Nancy was talking about how they're kind of arguing over who should be here on Earth and stuff, he has spoken of this where there were these alien cabals that were kind of at war, battling for who's going to be on Earth. And so when you mentioned that, I thought, oh yeah,
Oh,
it's like those cabals that gentleman. I think he still talks about it. I haven't heard
really?
much from
Wouldn't that
him.
be fun to get him on the air and
I haven't
have
had
him
him on
talk?
in a long time. I should try and get him on the air. But yeah, and when you mentioned that they would be kind of arguing over, no, I want to live here. No, I want to live here. I thought about those cabals because you're hearing more and more right now from people that have been abducted. You're hearing a lot more about people noticing that the aliens are some of them are working together.
Right,
Where sometimes
right.
you get the grays and you get the insectoids and you get the I forget what they call the insectoids. There's a name for them and you get the reptilians, and they're all working together on the ships.
The one that I talked to made me think of I was going to say ant shape, but I'm not going to say it. Very tall and very
Uh huh.
slim, small body, but rounded here and there.
Mhm.
Um, very peaceful. And his preference when he showed me a picture where he wanted to go was desert. So
Okay.
they could have been the ones that um, the young man took a camera and filmed one with 3 individuals. It
Yeah.
could have been his
Yeah.
group, but they're just the idea that he just wants to walk on our planet and not
Mhm.
be invisible anymore.
Mhm.
Very human
So it's
feeling.
interesting. It's very interesting. And then I had the one gentleman on earlier in the year too. Oh, hang on, Jennifer. Here we go, Jennifer. I'm sorry, Judith. God, I can't read. Sorry, Judith.
That's a
I'm
lot of.
blind.
We got only a couple
Okay,
minutes.
that's okay.
Jude.
We'll go for a while. It's cool.
Okay,
What
is
do
that
you see for me in the next 6 months? Health and whatever you see, or whatever you see.
well? I don't know if you're dealing with something now or you're trying, but in 5 months to 6 months, I feel like you're going to be a lot better, whatever you're dealing with. So I'm not going to talk about this, Judith. Circulatory issues. I don't know if you have what condition, but you'll have it handled at 3 months, and then at 5 months, I see a turnaround, getting what you would call, "I'm in better control." Um, see, I can't tell what it is. I don't know if it's the lymph system, the blood system. I don't know if you're diabetic or you have other conditions that are there, but you'll get a better handle on it. That's about as good as I can get in a short time.
There we go. Okay. Next. If anybody has anything else. But
Well, let's
just
call.
be sure, if you guys don't have a TikTok and you want to be on TikTok, not many people want to be on TikTok anymore. Join me over there, California Haunts, lowercase, over on TikTok, because I'm
That
going to
would
be
be
doing
one.
extra
How
stuff
many
over
people are on
there.
TikTok now? How many are
Yeah.
leaving Twitter or TikTok?
Okay, hang on a second. Okay, here's another one. Got a question. Judith says sounds good, and Laura Marie. Hopefully, I'm saying your name right, Laura. Is it Laura or Laura Marie? I have a 3-year-old nonverbal daughter that has autism. Do you have any advice or message for me? It is hard not
Oh,
knowing if she will ever speak or know how much she can understand or what she thinks.
um, so there's autism boys, men in our family, and they
Mm-hmm.
will and can outgrow this. She wants to think she's going to have a sarcastic, humorous personality as she gets bigger, older. And both of the autism men in my family are very, very bright. And I think that people my age and Char's age groups, I think a lot of us are high functioning autism peoples. Um, I do like her. A lot of people, these kids have unknown talents. So I would start introducing fun things for her to do, um, musical bells, piano, anything that she can gravitate to, make it small, make it easy. A 3-year-old. I know she doesn't want to be around people or talk to people, but on her own, she could do even artwork to get them being creative to open up those channels in their mind. I feel like she'll grow out of most of that. I see her as a teenager, and she seems to be in a place where there's other kids playing, going to school. So I don't know at what degree your child has this, but I feel like she'll outgrow of it, a lot of it. Um,
Okay.
Judith says, I don't use them. To what? What's that mean?
Whatever you said.
I don't use them. I don't remember saying anything that would. Um, um, hmm.
Oh, maybe TikTok. Maybe that's what she's talking about. Maybe it's TikTok.
Oh, you don't. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you don't use them. Mm-mm.
Yeah. All right, Laura. Terrific. But
Laura,
anyway,
if
there's a lot of people afraid of TikTok. I haven't had a problem with TikTok yet, but there's the year's still
I'm
young.
not, I have started TikTok, but I'm not ready to do that. Everybody, I'm going to
Yeah,
be
that's what I
doing my
thought.
own channel pretty soon of clients. I have about 15 years worth of clients on tape and disc. Probably know I go back to cassettes. So I'm going to start just doing just little snips. So I'm kind of doing this to kind of build people to know where I'm at. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to go and put, sign up under YouTube, my YouTube channel, and
Yep.
do that in that Facebook, and then eventually you'll be notified as I get started, probably 3 or 4 more months.
I'm going to
Being,
push this a little bit too. I have this chat room now on Discord. It's
oh
called
yeah,
Ghostly Groupies. You'll find an invitation for it in the down below Nancy's info on this thing. The cool thing about this is that I moderate it, so it's a safe place. You're not going to be like inundated with trolls for anything you say. Okay, so there's not going to be any trolls or anything like that. It's just a place to hang out where you can talk about just about anything. Okay, and no one's going to be judgmental or anything like that with you. It doesn't matter. I'm involved in a couple other of these, and especially one in particular where it's so nice because it's an open forum to talk. All right, we don't do politics on the other one or anything like that. Don't want to do politics on this one, but it's just an open place to talk. I mean, if you're not feeling well that day, if you're just cleaning the house that day, or whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. So come on over and check it out. It's Ghostly Groupies over on Discord. Okay? Okay. That's enough of that.
well, Shar, I think this is our show tonight.
I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to add is sometimes you see me doing this, sometimes you see me doing this. My
Well, my
mother.
chair. Wait.
My mother, and then this comes from my mother, and my mother used to comment on this all the time because all his kids did it. We'll sit on the
What?
couch and shake our leg.
Oh my gosh. I have a child that does that. Drives me crazy.
And you know what it's
It's
from?
hereditary.
No,
Huh?
and with us, what it's from is my mother used to rock us in a rocking chair when we were little all the time.
Oh,
And it's that
I had a
motion
rocker.
with our legs. And it's
Oh,
that
I
motion.
don't know.
And we like it. And that's what my sister and I and my brother had this discussion. My mother did. And it comes from that. So if you see me doing this or you see me start doing this, it's because I'm moving my legs back and forth. It's
Oh.
just a it's just a form of relaxation for us.
I I
I'm
I
not
have
having a
enough family.
seizure. I'm not hyped up on anything. I'm just just kind of cruising with it.
It's hard for me to sit still, and I own that, and I don't know where that comes from, but I'm not a leg but there are people in my family who do this, and those that
Hmm.
don't. My
Hmm.
first husband shook, 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 and one child does that. The other child is very calm, like I am, but
Yeah.
it's hard for me to sit long hours. I'm up
Yeah.
and down a
See,
lot.
I don't sit long hours either. Oh, I
Yeah.
got something going on here. Hang on. Somebody just popped up. What we got? What we got? What we got? I think I heard something. What did I say?
Cr- Crazy 3 times right now while
Oh, it's
meditating. You
Jen.
meditating while you're watching her in our show?
You're meditating watching my show? That's scary, Jen. That's really scary.
Do you
But
know
that's
Jen?
cool. That's cool though at the same time. That's
Well,
cool.
if you heard something crazy, I'm not positive it's a good thing or a bad thing.
See, Nancy knows I'm blind, so she's reading these things too because I'm blind with my glasses on.
I have a
Trying
very large monitor, so
It's
it's
bad enough with my contacts in, but the glasses, forget it. I can't even drive at night with my glasses on, so this is it, man. I went out
I
during the
actually
day,
kind of
went around
like
the
them. I
block
think they're kind of fun on you.
to
So
run my
anyway,
car. Hopefully, it won't be much longer. Anyway, so Monday, Robbie Thomas, medium Robbie Thomas is going to be on. He has done a lot of work. You might have heard of him. I've heard of him. He's done a lot of work with police departments around the world, missing persons cases and different things like that. He's going to be with us Monday. Sunday, of course, I'm reading the book, and it'll be the last read for this Christmas themed killing mayhem book that I've been reading every Sunday, and every time we get a chance. So that'll be the last read for that. And again, we'll start the other book next week on the Salem witch trials. And then, yeah, I'm going to be live on TikTok Sunday as well, doing the read for the book. And here I'll be live in this format as well too. So we're starting to like combine everything. We're starting to combine TikTok. We're starting to combine YouTube. Everything's getting combined. Disneyland. I wanted to go out live on YouTube and Facebook, but I found some difficulties. I will go out live from time to time when I'm up there, like through StreamYard for you guys, so you guys can see it, live on Facebook. But I cannot get it enlarged any bigger.
ooh,
That's the only issue, and
so it's
so it
going to be
makes it
really small.
difficult. So it's going to be on, the majority of it will be on TikTok because I have more control on TikTok. I could put it
Mm,
on YouTube, but there's an issue with Facebook with Facebook and YouTube with the mics on the phone. For some reason, the internal mics on the phone don't work well with YouTube and
ooh,
Facebook. They
you
only
told me
work well
that.
through StreamYard. Don't know. Have no clue.
Hi, Laura.
You know. Hi, Laura. Hey, Laura. Hello. My gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. Good grief. Good to see you. So that's why I'm pretty much going to stick with TikTok on those lives, but I will let you guys know when I do a live from Disneyland through YouTube and Facebook. I will let you guys know because I will do a couple because if I have a headset with me, I'll go ahead and do that. I should have a headset with me through my friend, so I will do that for you guys. I miss you too. Good Lord, I miss you. I haven't seen you in ages. Laura Montez used to be on my team.
Ah,
Way
kind
back
of.
in the early days of yesteryear.
When was
But
that?
yeah,
The old days when you and I were doing this. You
way back, way back.
Blog Talk Radio was the thing to do
Yeah,
in oh
Blog
07,
Talk
oh
Radio was
08.
the thing to do all those
Yeah, that
years
was
ago.
it started
And then
that.
we went to another one where it was in front of me Talk Shoe because Blog Talk was someone
Oh, did you do
inundated.
Talk Shoe?
I
I
did
stayed
Talk
with
Shoe.
Blog Talk Radio for about 5 years.
Yeah, I did. I
I
switched to Talk Shoe for a while, then went back to Blog Talk,
think I
and
had
then
100. We both. I downloaded some of mine. I think I had 140 shows. You had 150
yeah, I
something.
had a lot of shows
So
stacked up
type
there.
our name in Blog Talk Radio and go back
Oh
and
yeah, you'll find
listen
all
to
kinds
them.
of stuff. There's guests on there I'm shocked I had,
Okay.
but I'm like, wow, you know,
Oh,
here we are over here.
and in case someone knows spiritual sorcery, uh, I'd like to connect with that gentleman again. And there was
Yes.
some on the East Coast that passed away. Who was that? Do you remember? Want to acknowledge her? Um, we were both on her show off and on. Uh, anyway, a lot of good
East Coast or
memories.
West Coast? Oh,
East
oh,
Coast.
I know who you're talking about. Kathy.
Kathy.
Kathy
Hmm.
Echoes. Yeah.
Yeah, miss
Yeah.
these people. Funny
Yes.
how as time goes on, how many people we connect with, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's
So,
every generation, every decade or so, we have a new way of having shows and doing things fun.
oh yeah. So anyway, that's
Enjoy
my
this.
heads up about Disneyland. I'm going to be there from the 29th to through February 3rd. So I'm going to be broadcasting.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
like I said, what I will do is I will broadcast on both. I will do some stuff on because I'm going to be 2 days at the Disneyland park and 2 days at the other park. So one day I can broadcast, you know, through probably YouTube would probably be my best bet to
Hmm.
do it. I'll
Hmm.
probably broadcast through YouTube with a mic when I go live there, and I'll let you guys know. And then for my TikTok people, my TikTok folks, I'll be broadcasting on TikTok one day, or maybe every other one. I don't know. I have to decide how I'm going to do it. But I will go out live from Disneyland, so you guys will be able to see that. In addition, I'll have some shows set up for you guys to watch during that week period. Anyway, okay. So you guys will have something to do. You'll see me no matter what. But I would love to take you guys to Disneyland with me because I have collected, drum roll, I have collected a lot of ghost stories about Disneyland. A lot of ghost stories
I
on the
love it.
locations. So we're going to be talking ghosties at Disneyland and where they're located and all that good stuff and where people have seen them. I know the people the friends that I have made on TikTok that are on the rides all the time. Every once in a while, someone will pop up that they saw something on one of the rides.
Mm.
So I'm taking note of all that stuff. And plus, listening to these guys, there's a couple really good ones on there that do a lot of Disney trivia. So I'm going to be able to tell you stories that you've probably never heard before on these rides and about the park.
Yay.
So I'm powering up here
All
for you
right.
guys. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're going to end this. And Laura, my gosh, we have to get in touch. Email me, shoot me an email. We'll get in touch. Have lunch, do something. Okay. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. So anyway, again, I will see you guys on Sunday. I will be doing the read on Sunday, and that'll be the last read of the Christmas/winter book. All the spookies, all the spooky stories,
Oh
and
gosh.
then again, this backdrop's going to come down. I kind of like this backdrop. It kind of makes it
I
more
do
homey.
too.
I did too. It kind of gets a warm, homey feeling. But that's going to be coming down, and then next Sunday or sooner, if somebody bugs out, we'll be back to the Salem witch trials, and I'll be reading about that, which is
Oh my
fascinating because
gosh.
it's all old English, so it makes tongue twisters for me. So anyway, I will see you guys on Sunday, and please, if you haven't already, head on over to the Discord. Like I said, it's moderated to the point that I'm not going to tolerate bullies for anybody or trolls or anything like that. But it's a place where we can talk freely about anything you want, really. You know, house cleaning, your
Hmm.
kids, whatever. It's a free for all to talk about stuff after hours, stuff we don't talk about in the air, and just normal shit, as they say. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
use the word
Uh-huh.
shit, normal stuff, and it's just a place to hang out.
Just normal stuff.
Yeah, so remember that Discord is over there. When you go to look at the description of the show, it's right at the
Hmm.
bottom of the description is. And again, if you're watching from Facebook and you like what you see and you like what you hear, please hit that like button and that follow button because we're always looking for followers. YouTube subscribers, can I hit the button? There it is. Oh, over there. Look, I'm not used to this little tiny screen. Bottom right hand corner, there's that little ghost with the magnifying glass. Hit that,
There it
and you
is.
will become a subscriber. We have 480, more than 480 videos sitting over there that we've done, and that's just this show. All kinds of different topics. And I'm sure there's something that everybody will like. If you like the show, share it with 5 people. If you hated the show, share it with 5 of your enemies. Like I always say, we're equal opportunity here, and we're trying to get the word out about this show. So please do share it, share it, share it. And thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. And I hope you have a great couple days off. And again, I will see you on Sunday. So I will give you some of Nancy's contact information, and I'll show you my little picture of the Discord because I really like it. And then we're going to get the hell out of here. All right, here we go. Here's Nancy's info.
Bye.
Websites. NancyMatz.com, all lowercase. Nancy Matz author with the N, M, and A capitalized.com. YouTube.com/Nancy Matz psychic. Help get me out of this funk. Nancy Matz. Two Worlds, Developing Your Psychic Skills. Nancy Matz. Dun, dun, dun. And The Unwilling Sacrifice by guess who? Nancy Matz. And of course, you can get those at Amazon. And of course, check out the YouTube site, for those that haven't already, at youtube.com/@California Haunts Radio. Okay? All right. I will see you on Sunday. Have a good couple days.